What's good, everybody? This is Jay Floyd. I am your host, and this is the podcast they call On Everything. This podcast is about me being able to explore my mind, being able to provide some insight, sometimes just some stories. It's really just me leaning into my strengths. My strengths, top three. Number one is storyteller. Number two is coach. Number three is thinker. So as I coach all of my coaching clients, my coachees, my lions out there, you should lean into your strengths. So I do that here on this podcast. Thank you for joining me again. I'm definitely going to start posting more regularly. I'll dig more into, I think coaching is a journey. It starts with transparency. Most coaching training teaches you first you have to build trust. I've never had an issue building trust because I'm a natural storyteller. So I always lean on just being who I am. And I have this story. I used to have a video podcast called The Coach Big Bro Show, The Big Bro Show. And it's kind of morphed, right, over the years. It morphed into an audio podcast called What's Good, which then morphed into the show that you're listening to right now. I spoke about this before, but I think I'm in a much more mature place to speak on this. And I think I'll have a little bit more control over my ums and ers so that you won't see that many breakups in the story. But I want to talk about the day that I died. Yeah, you did hear that right. I died once. I was about 5 years old and I died. How did I die? I drowned to death. Let me tell you about it. So when I was born, my mother and father, they had a son, my big brother, Julius. They got married when my brother was probably like 3 years old. And I was in utero. I was in my mother's belly about 3 months or 2 months away from being born. My parents decided, you know what, now we're going to do it. We'll get married, right? So they get married, and then I'm born a couple months later. And then literally a couple months after that, they split up. So I don't really know all the details of what was going on and why they had a child before they were married. I don't know if maybe my dad's earlier divorce hadn't been finalized. I don't know what was going on, but they were co-workers, and here they are in this situationship that has now spawned 2 kids and a quick marriage. I won't say quick, but a marriage that's quickly crumbling. They eventually, over the course of the next 4 years, completely crumble, get bitterly divorced, and they hate each other for the rest of their lives. There's bitterness for the rest of their lives. Now, in the midst of this, my brother and I, my brother, when he was 1 and 2 and 3, he's born into this family where there's a mother and there's a father, and they're living in the suburbs of Cleveland. They're living in University Heights, and things are going well. And then next thing you know, there's going to be another child. They tell him, hey, you're going to have a little sibling. And right before that sibling comes, they get married, they lock it in. And as soon as that sibling comes, they divorce. They split up. The divorce happens a couple of years later. They split up. I'm pretty sure, and maybe I can touch on this in another episode, years down the line, I would have discussions with my brother to where he explained that he blamed me for all of that. Understandable, not uncommon, not fair, but not uncommon. We'll touch on that in another episode. But the result of this My mom gained custody of me and my brother. My mom not being the breadwinner of the home means that both of us had to live with less than half of the household income that we had originally, or that my brother enjoyed originally. I never fully enjoyed it. I was 2 months old. So we became destitute, actually, right? My mother had very, very poor spending habits and financial habits. She grew up poor. She did not know how to save. She didn't have the habits built. I won't say know how, because she was almost a genius level in her intellect. So she knew better. She didn't have the behavior and habits, which is more of a psychological, emotional type of a thing. So we became a bit destitute. We bounced around. We lived a number of places. One of those places was we moved in with some of my mom's cousins. Now, this cousin of my mother, had children the same age as me and my brother, right? So there was a son that was the same age as my brother. His name was Bubble. And then there was a younger son, same age as me. His name was Coco. These are nicknames, obviously. I mean, it's black families in the hood, Cleveland. It's the 80s, 70s, 80s. Got nicknames. I know their names, but we'll stick with the nicknames today. They also had a sister. She was a little bit older. But I don't know if she was in between us or older than my brother. She may have been in between us. But either way, me and my brother bonded well with the two boys. And all of us hung out together, all of us. And there were some other cousins that lived around the corner. This is a whole neighborhood of low-income black families in Cleveland, still down in the Polish district, where historically blacks and Polish people are living side by side. The streets are even named after that. There's like Pulaski, Sawinski, Kosciuszko. All these are the streets we're hanging out on. So we get to the day I died. We're living with these cousins and we're hanging out every day. Obviously, the parents are loving the fact that their kids are similar ages. Like any parents love when they have multiple kids that they can hang with other people who have kids the same age, right? They can go enjoy, stay out of their hair, do what they're going to do. So we would go off, right? This is 1981. We would go off, maybe 80, maybe 81. We'd be off doing everything, right? We just leave the house. We come back either when it rains, when it gets dark, whatever. This is not uncommon for that time, that day, that area, that culture, that a group of cousins, specifically a group of cousins, would just leave on their own with no adult supervision. And we did that. So this one day, it was summertime, and the idea that was kicked around, obviously by my brother and the older kids, was that we were going to go to a swimming pool that day. Now, none of us have swimming trunks. Well, I know me and my brother don't, right? There's no way we have swimming trunks, right? We barely have the clothes that we have and underwear. We don't even have pajamas. Our pajamas are the underwear that we wear, right? You wear like Fruit of the Loom underwear and Fruit of the Loom t-shirt, and those are your pajamas. So we went swimming, and the swimming gear was our underwear, right? Like just take your pants off, hop in there, do whatever you're gonna do, or just hop in your shorts, whatever. It's a hot day. It's Cleveland. Thing about Cleveland and the Midwest, by the time it finally gets hot in June, July, all bets are off, and people are going to do what it takes to have fun, loosen up. So we go to a public pool. Now, whatever's going on in this public pool that allowed this group of kids, it had to be about 6 of us, to come in our ages are ranging from about 5 to about 10, 11, 12 maybe. And we're all coming in there together with no adult supervision. I don't know what was going on with that pool, but obviously, again, it's the hood, it's the 80s. They let us in. Now, let me preface this with the fact that I do not know how to swim. I have never at this time known how to swim. So swimming and knowing how to swim is not even part of my mental landscape. It's not even something I've ever thought about. I've never been in a pool. I don't know what my brother's experience was, but I had never. I'd heard about it. Going swimming sounded like a good idea. Obviously, groupthink got me going, right? It's hot. We're having fun. It's a blast. We had ice cream from the ice cream truck. We're going around having fun. We're poking fun at each other. It's summertime with black cousins, period, right? So we go to the pool. We get in. We all hop in. And I listen, I don't know. You know, when you have one thing about memories there's no way any memory is completely factual. All memories are fiction. One, because it's only my perspective, right? It can't be the entire truth because it's not everybody's perspective. And two, I'm telling it from my biased view. A lot of the things that impacted me the most are going to be bigger. Okay. So I say that to say, I don't know how many people were in this pool, but it's a public pool and it is packed. It is packed. There's people everywhere and everybody is having a ball. It was the most fun we've ever had. Everybody's doing everything. We're running in the pool, throwing, there's like a ball being bounced where people are like dunking each other. It feels great. And me, I am a very quiet, shy kid. Again, I've never been in a pool. I am literally being dragged along by the inertia of my big brother and my cousins and the fun that we're having. So I'm in this pool and it is fun, man. I wasn't much of a kid to loosen up. I was a little panicky. But I loosened up that day. I'm running around the pool and I'm just splashing complete nonsense. There's no game I'm playing. I'm just splashing and screaming and walking, and I'm not doing any swimming though, because I don't know how to swim. I don't even know what swimming is. I'm literally walking in the shallow end of a pool. And it's so much fun. Never once, again, I have no perspective on how a swimming pool is designed. A lot of y'all out there may have been exposed to swimming early in life. And maybe you understand that the bottom of a pool is built with a grade. And sometimes that grade has a pretty steep fall off. I had no idea. And I don't know if maybe my brother and my cousins were kind of like staying in the shallow and we were just kind of like, they kind of assumed that we all would just mill around in circles in the shallow end, but nobody explained that to me. And as the youngest kid there, my cousin Coco was 2 months older than me. As the youngest kid there, I didn't know, man. I didn't know. Now, uh, I'm I'm having a ball. I'm noticing that all of a sudden I got to stay on my tiptoes to touch the floor of the pool. But I just keep going. I keep going and I keep going, and my foot reaches that dropping point, the tipping point, and I slip under. And I mean, as you would imagine for a person who does not understand the physics of swimming and human bodies underwater, I reacted in a way that a person would react who's only been on land. I went all the way under. I was swept under. And in order to stop it, I just flailed. I just flailed. That's all I knew how to do. I panicked, I flailed. And obviously, as you know, sometimes flailing can make it worse. It pushes you further under. And I just remember opening my eyes. And you know that sound when you're underwater and your ears fill up, where you can kind of hear, it feels like almost like a sonogram type of it's almost like you're going to hear dolphins talk. I hear that for the first time in my life. And I open my eyes and I see what underwater looks like for the first time in my life. And I have zero training in how to save myself. So all of the human instinct in my 5-year-old mind kicked in. And after I flailed and flailed and flailed and nothing happened and it didn't get me to the surface, I gave up. And I can recall thinking, this is where I die. I wasn't, it, it was more of I hadn't led much life, right? So it wasn't like clinging on to everything. I got all this stuff to live for. I got wife and kids out here. It was like, that was a good run. That was a good run, and it ends now. And in my cousin's house, my uncle brought a picture. There was a picture, and it was a picture of a black lady. It was like a velvet painting, picture of a black lady. It was definitely a naked black lady, and like completely naked, right? Like, so she's got round hips and her breasts are out and her nipples are like humongous, and she's got like this beautiful afro, and her eyes follow you everywhere you go. And this used to spook me out. I used to have dreams about this picture. I used to have nightmares, right? Like I couldn't sleep if we were seeing this picture. It would just give me the creeps, right? So as I'm floating there in the water, and I just kind of go lifeless, I go limp. I'm like, well, I should just give up. I don't know if my thoughts. I wasn't intelligent enough. I wasn't mentally developed enough to think, let me just make this easier on myself consciously. But it feels like my body was tired, and I felt like, let me make this easier and get this over with. So I remember floating there, and this picture floated through my mind, and I just got like this overwhelming love sensation, right? Like this feeling of being like almost like held by your mom. I just kind of felt like that. And I remember thinking like, I give up, and I breathed in the water. It's like if you don't know how to swim, and especially if you're a small child, you don't have strong lungs, you've never been taught how to swim, holding your breath is hard. So all of this happened in the course of maybe 5, maybe 10 seconds max. If I highly doubt I made it to 10 seconds before I just gave up and breathed. I just breathed the air in. Like I had no other mental options. And I blacked out. So the last thing I saw was this picture. I know they say when you're about to die, your life flashes before your eyes. I guess it did. I didn't have much life to flash. It was a short movie, but the most impactful vision I had ever had was that picture, that portrait, that velvet painting, and it definitely showed up. And it didn't even show up. It just kind of like, it kind of like panoramically spanned in my mental vision, like going from left to right. It did that. It did that. It did that. So when it did that, I blacked out. Blackness. I could still, for a second, hear that sound of what it sounds like when your ears are filled with water and it's a large body of water. You can kind of hear like bubbles. Yeah. And then I was out. Just gone. I don't know how long I was unconscious, but I do know that I decided to die. And I intentionally breathed in water in order to die because my psyche felt it's the only option I have right now. I woke up laying on my back on the concrete next to the pool, surrounded by every kid. And I mean, I'm pretty sure it wasn't 100, but it sure felt like 100. Every kid was encircled around me, looking down, standing up, looking down at me in a circle. You know, it's like that. It's like the Straight Outta Compton album cover where NWA is all looking down. That's what it was like. Everybody was looking down at me, and a lifeguard was pumping what felt like fire out of my body. It's pumping fire out of me. Now, it's what I now know is the water coming out of my lungs. It's burning. Oh, it burned so bad. Burned so bad. This was 1,000% the most traumatic day of my life. I don't know how much. I mean, I don't even know if I could quantify how much or qualify how much this impacts me as an adult or has impacted my path and journey to where I am right now. It's been a horrific day. And I'm only halfway done telling you the story. So they pump water out of me. I cough, I come back to life. I look around, I see the kids, I see the lifeguard. Lifeguard's like, "Are you okay?" My first feeling was shame, which is not a foreign feeling for me or anybody from where I came from, raised like I did. Maybe I had it a little worse because turns out, which I found out later in life, I have panic disorder. But I felt shame. I instantly was, so panic gripped my heart. I'm like, I can't believe everybody's looking at me. And I'm laying here, I felt like I did something wrong. And to add to said shame, the lifeguard is like, "Hey, who's with this kid?" And my brother and my cousins are like, "Yeah, he's with us." And they're like, Get him home. Get him home. Where are your parents?" And we're like, "Yeah, parents are not with us." They're like, "Get him home." So they send me over to a little huddle. We're having a little huddle, family huddle. My brother is like the ringleader. My cousins. Keep in mind, again, I repeat, I was the youngest one there. I walk over there. They're like, "Wow, are you okay? Are you good? Are you all right?" And let me be clear. This is something a lot of my loved ones over the years have done. I don't know if they intentionally do it or not. When they said, "Are you okay?" it was not spoken with love. It was not spoken with a loving tone. It was more spoken with an accusatory tone, like, "What's wrong with you?" Right? Like, I hope there's nothing wrong with you. Like, are you okay? Like, have you ever it's almost like if I wasn't okay, it was an inconvenience for them. Have you ever been in that situation? Can y'all relate to that? Like, if you fall or you hit your head or you throw up or something, and the loved ones around you are like, "Are you okay?" Instead of, "Wow, are you all right?" it's like, are you all right? It's almost like there's only one answer that they want to hear. And that doesn't feel great as the person that's being asked. So they say, am I all right? I say, man, I guess so. I don't know. I'm lost, right? I'm completely delirious. I'm in shock. I just died and I came back. I don't really know. I don't even understand what to say. I don't even know how I'm living. So then the next thing they say is, you don't really want to go home, do you? You don't really want to go home, do you? They didn't want to leave. They're like, we're having fun, man. We're still having fun. We're not ready to go yet. You don't want to go, do you? And I'm like, the only thing that, as my wits started to come back to me, the first thing I thought, I got to be with mama. I need my mama. Right now, I need my mama. I need her. So I'm like, yes, I want to go home. I got to go see mom. And they're like, ugh, oh my goodness. Can't believe you're making us leave. We're not ready to leave. Why can't you just sit over there on the side and wait? And I'm like, no, I need to go see my mom right now. And they were like, well, we're not leaving. So they look around and they see a man. This man's name is Cool Breeze. He is a friend of our family, a friend of my uncle. I don't know him. I guess our family knows him enough to where the kids looked over and they recognized him. So they're like, hey, let's just go ask Cool Breeze to take him home. Now, what this man was doing around the pool, I have no idea what was going on. But they go over to him and they're like, can you take Jason home? And he's like, yeah, I'll take him home. So I hop in the back seat. Now, keep in mind, I'm not wearing any clothes really. I just got like a t-shirt and my underwear. It's like a, it's like 100 degrees in Cleveland, man. It's rough. I hop in his back seat, and this is like, it's probably like a late model 70s car. It's like these hot leather seats. It's long. There's no seat belt. This long bench seat. I'm super uncomfortable. I'm laying in there, curled up in the fetal position. He hops in the car and he drives. I don't even know how to get home, so he starts to drive, and I'm just trusting that he's getting me home. And my brother and cousins have entrusted this man to take me home. And he doesn't go straight home. He stops at a building and he gets out and he goes into the building first. And he comes back out of the building with a paper bag, brown paper bag. He throws that in the passenger seat and then he takes me home. So yeah, he obviously had to make a stop. He had to make a run, grab something. I don't know what it was. I don't know. But if he was my uncle's friend, he probably was a hustler of some sort. So he probably had to go either buy or sell something, right? So he gets me home, and we pull up in front of the house. Again, it's hot, so there's no air conditioner. My mom and my aunt, they're all outside. They're outside sitting down talking. They see this car pull up. They see me in the back seat getting out, and they instantly lose it. Oh, my God, they lost it. They start screaming, cussing. They run up to the car. My mother grabs me, and my aunt starts attacking the man, yelling at him, cussing at him. I don't even know if they hit him. I don't know. Maybe they did. I don't know. What did you do to him? They're screaming, yelling. What did you do? I can't believe. What in the world? And so I have been this whole time on the way home preparing my mind to tell my mother that I just died. I need help. I need you to hold me. I need you to nurture me. I just literally died. I just went through the most traumatic experience of my life. But I can't get it out because they're so busy accusing this man of doing something to me. Because I'm in the back seat of his car, I'm half naked, and apparently, unbeknownst to me, and hopefully unbeknownst to my brother and cousins, this man had a track record of doing bad stuff to kids. And that's what they sent me home with. So it took about 5 or 10 minutes over the yelling where I'm trying my best, and this is probably the most traumatic part, definitely the most traumatic conscious part that I remember. I was conscious, and I remember the feeling of trying to communicate over my mother's screaming to tell her that the man did nothing to me, and she didn't fully believe me. That was hard to experience because the shame, the guilt of what just happened, me going through a near-death experience, started to mix with this concept of child molestation that I didn't fully understand, although my mom had explained it to me. I didn't. I'm too young to fully understand why a person would do this to a child. So to be in the mix of seeing my mother concerned that that happened to me, like fully concerned, not a worry of hypothetical, but a full concern that it literally just happened, that was traumatic. Because now not only am I dealing with the death, things I don't understand. I don't understand death. I don't understand. My life just flashed before my eyes. I saw this picture that has been bouncing around in my psyche. Why am I looking at it? Is it a sexual thing? Why am I looking at this picture? What's wrong with me? Is it I have shame? I have guilt? And now we're discussing the fact that I literally just rode in a car with a man who's known for child molestation. So I was vulnerable to a predator. Thank God he didn't do anything to me, but now I have to process the fact that I literally just got out the back seat of a car where I was alone with a child predator, and my brother and my cousins put me in the car with him. That is a lot to process. That's a lot. So my mom finally listened to me. We finally got everything back okay. Repercussions of that day are that I was afraid of swimming in water for a long time. I'll tell you part 2 of my swimming story on the next episode. But I literally went for the next few years, avoiding water at all costs. All costs. And now I even have this condition to where, I can't remember what it's called, where when somebody says certain words, like anytime I hear the word water bill, the sensation of water filling up my mouth happens. I can't really explain. I have looked it up, popped it through ChatGPT a few times. I understand there's some sort of sensory tie to hearing words like a trigger. But yeah. And I was definitely afraid of water. And that will come up later in my life in a very significant way. So we'll tap into that next time if you tune in for part 2 of the How I Died story. Thanks for listening to me, y'all. I enjoy telling these stories. It's cathartic. It's not the first time I've told these stories on a podcast, but it's really the first time I could really walk through not only the story, the repercussions, the hows and whys, and really start to understand them. All right, so tune in again next time where I'll follow up with this and start to pull apart the thread of how this wove its way through my life. Weaved. What is that word? All right, y'all. Love y'all. Thanks for tuning in. Ready to revolutionize your content creation? Discover Deep Brain AI, the cutting-edge solution in AI video synthesis. Create lifelike AI videos with ease, ideal for presentations, educational content, or just boosting your digital marketing. Your AI avatar waits to deliver messages with natural expressions and natural voices. It'll be just like hearing and seeing you and me. Experience the future of communication with Deep Brain AI. Discover more right now at what'sgood.work and click on our link that says visit our sponsor.